Just having a look at a couple of charts for people. The first cap off the rank's OBJ, and somebody's asked me to do a line chart here. Aimless, I think it was, and who's talking about higher highs and higher lows in here. But to me, it's just basically a little consolidation period in here as long as it was back here, and the same thing back here. There is that little head and shoulders there. I don't know if you take much of that into consideration, but the head and shoulders target definitely goes negative. So other times I've seen that on charts is where actual companies go broke. So I don't know if you want to take that into consideration. But the other thing to look at here, it repeats these ranges. And this range up and this range up are exactly the same. This range down and this range down are exactly the same. And this range has completed, okay? So that's what I'd be thinking there. Looking here, you do have your higher low in here. And if it can bounce off this 1.8 mark here, there'd be another higher low in there. Otherwise, you'd be looking at down here at your 1700 for your double bottom with here, or a double bottom down here at your 1.6. Now, if we also have a look at our indicators, indicators are pointing down, so we would expect this to come down. Volumes are very light though, so whether you can read much into that or not, I don't know. Total fib set, this is the last fib along here, also at your 1.8. And that's basically horizontal support down here at your 1.6. So with a stock like this here, I think either now it would turn from here, go up and try and complete another range higher. Okay, higher range, which would basically take it back up to the 2.6 range, okay, and then another range down. It just looks like one of those that likes doing these little ranges in here. And yeah, unless I suppose the only other thing we can look at is if we did a bigger range down, and had a look at that. Let's just go in there and just see where that would take it from. Basically, oh, it's not going to let me do it until I add some more down the bottom. Margins, make them 50. Okay. And then if we did that, you look for a range down to the 1.5s, is what I tend to be thinking. But that's the way I'd be basically looking at this chart. And yeah, that's about as much help as I can be. Okay, I'm just going to pause this. And okay, next cab off the rank is Grand Gulf Energy, GGE. Just done a little fib set in here, and what's holding it back is the 0055 level at the moment, which is the Alamo. That's the fib from bottom back here to a high up there, okay? Until it gets above that, what it's more than likely to do is just keep on doing what it's doing, is sideways. But this has been doing this sideways since November 2011. And what you find is when stocks do a lot of time, and this is what we're calling as time, all this time, then they will turn around and do a lot of price, like they've done back up here. But at the moment, it's quite obvious that the floor is in here, okay, at your 0.003 level, and your roof is up here at your 0.005.5 level. Until you get a break above that, probably wouldn't be looking at it. And if you get a break down below that, you're probably going to go back to 0.02. Okay, but yeah, just looking at it here, it's time and price is what this stock's about. Most of the indicators are pretty much flatlining. They look like they slightly might like to turn around a little bit here, head up, but there's been no volume as compared to average volume, which is the yellow line, you know, so that's what I'd be looking at that one. If you're holding this one here, I think, yeah, it just needs to break this 0.0555, and then you'd probably look at it to test the old high back up here, or it might even just go on with it, okay, and do that range it's done before. Yeah, but a hard one, yeah, because I can sit in this holding pattern for ages. So, you know, when it's going to break up, don't know. At the moment, to me, I'd still be thinking that with the way the MAs are, they're very tight in here at the moment. As you can see, 200 period is holding it. If it was to get through that 5, everything would turn up and then it'd be looking pretty good, actually. It'd probably be a good little run. But yeah, that's about as much help as I can be on that one. Next chart up is Min, okay, Mineral Resources. Being a ballistic chart, it's a great little stock, but things have changed a little bit here now. Now, what I'm expecting here at the moment, candle-wise and everything, we've got our fib set and our quadrants set in here. Obviously, it wants to try and test the 38.2 at some point in time. Okay, it could even try and test the 50% back down here, just below $7.50. Looking at this chart here, we've had a double top up here and a double top there. They're not perfect, they're not textbook, but it would be good enough for me. You know, I would have said, you know, like, fair enough. That's pretty close to a double top. You've also got a head and shoulders in pattern in here that's playing out. Now, head and shoulders are very good at hitting targets, and the target for this one is $9.16. Close enough, you know, probably a little, maybe a smidgen lower. At the moment, since it's gone under the 30-day moving average, and now what we have is, 200-day moving average. What we have, the 30-day moving average has moved through the blue. Okay, this here is what I call the kiss of death, you know, and yeah, you've got them both going through the 200 now. Where back here in the past, the 30 went through the 50, but never went through the 200 until here. Okay, and then it dropped off significantly. You know, at the moment, this stock has still got more to go down, but in the meantime, I think you might just get a little bounce here. Okay, for the simple reason we look at our daily DEMA is extremely low. Okay, the lowest it's ever been is here. You know, that's one there, one here, one there. So you'd be expecting a bounce. Okay, there's like a little buy signal trying to happen here on the short entries. Okay, Scots are extremely low, and our zero lag MACD has turned up again. Okay, so I'd be tending to think that I'd be expecting this stock to bounce, but where it's going to bounce to is we're just a little tricky in here, and just see if we can get this right. And if we put in from that low there up to this high, okay, and then we take that across there, keeping it at the same level, okay. gives our next fib up. Okay, and our next fib up is going to be at, on there would be a bounce up to around about $10.20. Okay, and then you'd reassess it from there. If it wants to keep on going up, you'd say, well, Head and Shoulders isn't going to make its target, but to me, I think that they always do, and this is probably a temporary bounce up to here, because if we have a sneaky on the weekly indicators, they've still got more to go down here. That's the low on the DEMA there, and it's still got quite a bit more way to go. Even though the Scots are getting pretty oversold, they can sit down there for a while. Our zero lag MACD hasn't turned up, so I'd be thinking, yeah, she's still got more to go down. So I think that's probably a temporary bounce in here, and that's what the candles are telling me. The candles look like inverted hammers there to me. All depends on the open on Monday. If it opens higher than the close, it'll go up. If it doesn't, it's coming off more. But yeah, that's about the best I can give. But if it bounces up to that $10.20, I'd probably take the money and look at rebuying the stock back down at the Head and Shoulders target in 916, or unless it goes further down than that. But yeah, that's about the best I can do on that one. Next one's Red Emperor, the big fish. Just quickly, the old fib set was the high to the low, which threw up the 161. It hit it perfectly. It went through it by 0.5 cent. The stock's been very oversold. It's come right off, okay? As we can see here by the moving averages, they've only just caught up to it now, okay? It's playing by the fibs pretty well. You notice these fibs overlap, okay, and overlap here again with quadrants, yeah, and overlap here. So it pretty much plays by the rules. And what I was thinking here with this stock is probably a good example that it could be an island reversal pattern, and we could see it back up around the high 40s, 50 cents without too much problem. You can see the indicators are very low and on the way up, and it could have a long way to go. But that's just quickly on the big fish for Rangi. I've run out of time, I better go.